The first episode begins with the protagonist, Aisha, a troubled teenager living with her father Martin in a futuristic society where AI robots work for humans. She has been seeing her therapist Sharon for many years now. Certain stimuli trigger her, and her body reacts by shutting down. Sharon inquires what triggered her recent episode where she locked herself up. Aisha tells her that the day started regularly, when she spent some time with her best friend Carrie at school, and later made plans for the weekend with her boyfriend Levi. In their physics class, the teacher introduced them to cymatics, a pattern-forming process through various vibrational frequencies. The altering frequencies disturb Aisha deeply and she rushes to turn the machine off. Later that night, Carrie invites Aisha to Caleb's house party. So, Aisha tells her father that she is headed to Carrie's home for group study. On her way, she stops by Levi's to pick him up, but she is shocked to see him using a service robot for his sexual gratification. Aisha storms off in a rage and reaches the party. After narrating the whole ordeal to Carrie, Aisha starts drinking and fooling around. At one time, she heads upstairs with the host Caleb to make out, but Levi arrives just in time and stops them. He tries to apologize to Aisha for his moment with the robot, but Aisha can't bring herself to digest it. She breaks up with Levi and walks away with her bottle. When she reaches the restroom, she loses her balance and falls, which breaks the glass bottle. One of the glass shards cuts through her forearm, causing a lot of pain. Aisha gathers some courage and pulls it out, but the next thing leaves her stunned. She notices a blue light from within her arm. To figure it out, she gags herself with a towel and cuts open her wound, which reveals wires instead of veins in her arms. Just then, a high-pitched sound pierces through her ears, forcing her to grab the nearby tweezers and pick her ear. When she pulls the tweezers, she is shocked to find a long wire coming out of her ear, and panic sets in. She tries to yank it, but the excruciating pain causes her to pass out. In the next episode, Aisha wakes up in her bed with a big knife nearby. The gashes on her arm and abdomen horrify her, but more so because she sees wires and light instead of blood and muscles. She hears her father leave but does not have enough strength to stop him. Later, she musters all her power and goes to school, where Carrie tells her off for not responding to her calls. Carrie is worried since she found a pool of blood in the bathroom, but Aisha convinces her that she fell with a glass bottle and accidentally cut herself. Then she heads to the bathroom to examine her arm wound. There, she notices a metal device with a serial number on it, but before she can track the number, a class fellow named Jenny walks in and notices the wound before Aisha can hide it. Aisha proceeds to leave and calls Sharon for an emergency session. Then she goes to a college robot called William and shows him her wound. He tells her that it is her haptic tensor system, but he doesn't reveal more details due to policy restrictions. Later, Aisha goes to see Sharon and freaks out because she thinks she is a machine. Sharon comforts her and suddenly utters a code that deactivates Aisha, after which Sharon uses a device to remove Aisha's memories of the past few days. After that, she calls someone, telling them that Aisha found out about herself yet again. In the next scene, Aisha wakes up with no wounds on her body, so she brushes it off as a bad dream and snuggles with her pet Picasso. At school, Carrie is disappointed that Aisha made out with Caleb, knowing that Carrie has feelings for him. Aisha does not remember the recent past, so she is unable to understand why Carrie would react that way. In the physics lab, Jenny asks Aisha about her wound, but Aisha does not remember that either. Jenny then activates a high-pitched frequency that disturbs Aisha. Jenny informs her that only machines are able to hear this decibel. Aisha panics and walks out, running into William. Since she has no recollection, she is surprised to learn that she had a conversation with him yesterday. William informs her that someone wiped her memory drive 18 hours ago, and with her consent, he restores it. This is where Aisha freaks out and starts running away until she reaches her geographical limit, beyond which she cannot step further. The next episode begins with Noah, the CEO of Rylium Technologies, who uses his latest nanobot technology to impart hearing to a deaf woman. As everybody celebrates his success, he hears that one of the robots he made has malfunctioned, so he sends his brother Abel to take care of it. On the other hand, Aisha confronts Levi and asks him to hand over the advanced codes he recently used to hack into the service robot earlier. Levi reluctantly agrees, after which Aisha heads to the library and she inserts those codes into her system, which gives her access to all the features a robot could possibly have. With all the new information, Aisha is excited when she realizes she can read people's minds and extract any information she can from them. she discovers that all her life experiences have been simulated throughout her life, including her period. As she walks out, she checks her abilities and identifies random people just by looking at them. Eventually, she tries to test her limits, but goes into system overload and collapses. Just then, her father shows up and helps her into the car. She is surprised that he is not keen to take her to the hospital, and as soon as he drops her home, he leaves for an urgent piece of work. Aisha notices he is talking nervously to someone, and when she enhances his audio using her new powers, she finds out that her father knows exactly what she is. When she goes through his stuff, she comes across a hidden tablet, which shows that Martin not only keeps an eye on her, but can read her thoughts too. As it happens, Martin first met Aisha at an event in Dallas 4 years ago, and she reminded him of his deceased daughter, Cynthia. Aisha connects him to his mother, Sharon, and soon the two hit it off. They start living as a family. But one day, Martin picks Aisha up from school, and as he drives past her geographical limit, Aisha starts behaving weirdly. He panics and calls Sharon, who reaches them hastily and recites a code that deactivates Aisha. As Sharon has kept Martin in the dark regarding Aisha's true nature, he breaks up with her. Since she doesn't want to ruin Martin's fatherly relationship with Aisha, Sharon deletes her memories from Aisha's drive and installs fake memories of her life with Martin as her father. Next, Aisha confronts Martin and he confesses everything, telling her that she was part of a specialized program at Relium Technologies where Sharon worked for Noah and Abel. Sharon secretively made a self-aware AI robot with an AI chip that learns and evolves just like a human brain. Since it is illegal to create an AI that thinks for itself, Sharon is asked to eliminate Aisha, but she sneaks her out and has kept her hidden ever since. Coming to the present, Aisha blames Sharon for everything, including her anxiety. Sharon claims she wanted Aisha to have the complete experience as a human. However, Aisha is upset, especially about the fact that Sharon and Martin can read her thoughts. She threatens to expose herself with a video unless they turn off that feature. Sharon quickly agrees and turns off all the surveillance. In the next scene, we see Aisha in a new getup, and she barely talks nicely to anyone at school. Outside, she notices Abel disabling a school robot inside his van. Sensing she is in danger, Aisha hides, while Abel scans William's database to learn about Aisha's serial number. Just then, Jenny finds Aisha and informs her about a tracker on her foot, and then helps to remove it. Noticing Aisha's confusion for her help, Jenny reminds her that they used to be best friends, but her memory resets made her forget all about her. Both girls go to Levi, asking him to drive them to Canada to convince Noah to let Aisha live. Once they reach a motel, Aisha asks Jenny to hack into her and restore all her past memories. Jenny agrees, and Aisha sees her AI sibling Callian, who she left behind at Rylium when she escaped. Other than that, she learns about her romantic involvement with Jenny, to the point where she used to stand outside Jenny's house like a stalker. Since she wasn't manufactured to handle such intense emotions, Sharon wipes those memories away. All of this seems too much to Aisha, who runs out of the motel. However, her low battery doesn't let her get too far. Following this, Jenny finally tells Levi about Aisha's reality, who was shocked initially that Aisha kept him in the dark, but Jenny reminds him that Aisha only found it out recently. They find Aisha and let her recharge. However, Abel shows up out of nowhere and abducts Aisha, taking her to Rylium to meet Noah. As he is bringing her in, Aisha convinces him to let her meet Callian. He takes her to the basement where she happily reunites with her brother. Shortly after, Noah shows up to deactivate Callian and bring Aisha to his office. There, Aisha sees Sharon and Martin, who are both arguing with Noah to let Aisha live as she poses no threat to humanity. However, Noah decides to terminate her once and for all, which leaves Aisha devastated. She storms off to the basement while Noah activates the termination process, so she collapses to the floor. Martin scoops her into his arms and tries to comfort her in her last moments. After that, Noah ensures Aisha and Kalina are shredded through a grinder. In the next scene, Jenny and Levi notice Sharon and Martin looking devastated. They realize Aisha is no more, and with a heavy heart, they return to their lives back home. The next day at school, William asks Jenny and Levi about Aisha, stating that she missed her last 3 appointments. When they ask about the appointments, William asks for a password, so Jenny goes through all the codes in Aisha's diary. One of the codes is correct, and it unlocks Aisha's AI in William's body, who explains to Jenny and Levi that she had made a backup of herself just in case. Next, Martin receives a voice message from Aisha, telling him that she will return once she finds a suitable body. In the last scene, artificial human parts are being manufactured, and we see a face resembling Aisha. And with that, the movie ends. Thank you for watching Don't Look Deeper. Subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.